What was some of the very best advice that you ever received that resonated with you and made you a better chess player?
I think one of the most important pieces of advice I ever received was to not neglect my fitness. And I received that advice from my dad, and it was very useful. And I've been working very hard on my fitness. I swim 1 hour every day, very intensely, and I think it's helped my chess a lot.
Right. Building endurance, energy at the board.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
And this goes overlooked by many players. I think it's an underrated.
Our secret then.
Yes, yeah.
Tell everybody.
Underrated piece of advice.
So my first coach was Georgi Kacheishvili.
Yeah.
He taught me that you have to focus on being a good human before being a good chess player. And I thought this was really meaningful to me because I think, in some sort of way, like the chess gods or whatever it might be are happy when you're like being a good, person in the world, and then the chess kind of follows suit. So for me, that's something that I've always tried to follow.
One of the most important things in chess is dealing with pressure, and
you're always under pressure.
Yeah, you're always under a lot of pressure playing chess, but I think it's important to ground yourself. And the way I do this is basically, what's the worst that can really happen?
You lose the game. That's the worst.
That's the worst. But why should we be thinking about the loss? If that's the worst that can happen, it's not that bad. It's just a game.
Right.
So instead of thinking about the loss, we already established what we know as the worst possible result.
Right.
We can instead focus on like the positive parts. What do I find fun about this?
Right.
What am I enjoying?
Right.
And at the end of the day, there's really nothing to fear because the worst possible result is just a single game. It's not going to make or break the universe.
Trying to learn even from your wins. Like a lot of people say, like learn from your losses, and most people are like really happy after a win, but again, nobody plays perfectly. So
Absolutely.
every game is a valuable lesson, and really taking that and applying it to life as well in general.
One of the best pieces of advice, probably the best, was always have like a huge fighting spirit, because back when I was around NM level, I struggled a lot against higher rateds. I was always offering draws and winning positions because I was scared I would blundle and lose.
Right.
So I guess after offering so many draws and drawing so many games, my coach finally decided it was time to tell me that I have to make a change. So that helped me, I guess, a lot. I mean, I did have a ton of painful losses after that, but at least I knew that in the future it would help a lot with my general understanding.
I think one of the most important pieces of advice I've received is to just never give up. I've won many positions or drawn many positions where I thought I was hopeless, but then I think back to that and I'm like, okay, I can play on one more move, two more moves, and eventually my position starts getting better. And then I always believe that there's always hope in any position, no matter how bad it looks. So yeah, that's probably the most crucial piece of advice, because I've won many crucial games from bad positions, so that's pretty important to me.
Well, recently, especially before this sort of a round robin tournament, where it's very easy to get caught up in trying to predict what your opponent's playing, and overemphasize, what they've tried in the past, and just it's much better to just take a more broad approach and try to make sure that everything is in good shape for you. And in that case, if there's a surprise, you'll be able to handle it.
I've received a lot of amazing chess advice throughout the years. I think the one that's most resonated with me and I've used throughout my career is that my coaches said that during a tournament, no matter how great of a tournament you might have, there will always come times, like let's say if you might lose a game somewhere in the middle of the tournament. And it's very important not to let this bog you down. And you should be able to mentally reset after, let's say, every game. That this even applies in situations where you won. That you don't carry, like you should carry a sense of confidence, but you should not be overconfident in the upcoming games.
I think it would be one of my coaches, Mezgin Amanov. So I played World Youth in China as I think 6th seed or something.
Okay.
And I scored 5 out of 11, probably worst performance of my life. And after that, it was kind of hard to keep playing, but the advice he gave me was that these single tournaments, even if it's World Youth, it's not the end all be all of chess.
Exactly.
Much bigger things to do. So then I kept playing that, and eventually I made IM, so it's been worth it in the long run, and now I'm here, so try to make the best of this as well.